Today we are Group 5 and we're going to present to you our final term project, which is the simulation of circuit design through the use of superposition theorem. In this video presentation, we're going to discuss our circuit design, how it is made, the methodology of it, the solutions we had in order to find the current in each branches and also the current of each resistors. But first, we're going to have a short or brief introduction of what is superposition theorem from Mr. Jasmer Maningan. So, thank you.
Good day, kami nga pala ang Group 5 and we will be presenting our project, Simulation of Circuit Design through the use of Superposition Theorem. So to start, ano nga ba ang Superposition Theorem? It states that the total current in any branch of a network that contains more than one source equals the algebraic sum of the currents produced by each source acting separately throughout the circuit. So, ang aim ng superposition theorem is ma-determine ang bawat contributions ng bawat sources when they are acting separately in a circuit. So, para malaman natin ang contributions ng bawat sources when they are acting separately, kailangan nating i-replace lahat ng independent sources as short circuit or open circuit. Kapag independent voltage source, i-replace natin siya as short circuit. Kapag naman independent current source, gagawin natin siyang open circuit. In case na may dependent source, hahayaan lang natin siya. So kapag nakuha na natin yung mga values ng bawat sources when they are acting alone, kailangan natin silang i-add or solve algebraically together with the values from the other sources when they are acting alone, para makuha natin yung actual voltage drop or current kapag lahat ng sources ay nag-act together. Take note guys, kailangan natin i-consider yung polarity ng voltage drop at yung direction ng flow ng current kapag magsasolve na tayo algebraically. So makikita naman natin yung mamaya.
The components of our circuit. First, the most common that we use is resistor. The main function of resistor in a circuit is to control the flow of current to other components. If too much current flow through the circuit is destroyed, so resistor is used to limit the current. Next one is voltage. Voltage is a source of power and true of force that pushes the charges. But take note, it is not a force. Ang force po kasi ay ito yung tinutulak o hinihila na object. Pero yung circuit ay hindi pa object. And lastly, the current. Ito yung dumadaloy na kuryente sa circuit natin. To make it simple, voltage is the difference in charges between 2 points. Current is the rate at which charge is flowing. Resistance C is a material tendency to resist the flow of charge.
So, hi! Nandito tayo ngayon para ma-discuss natin yung solution na ginawa namin sa circuit and with the application of superposition theorem. So, dun sa naging circuit namin, ginawa namin yung V1 ay ni-replace as open circuit or short circuit. Then, yung other voltage sources and also the current sources are replaced. Ngayon, natira dito ay IR1, IR2, IR2, IR3, IR4, IR5, and IR6. So, here's the solution. Ayan. So, para makuha yung REQ, 1 plus, at kasi yung 1 na to ay naka-series dun sa ating voltage source. So 1 plus, tapos 1 quantity, 1 raised to negative 1 plus 2 raised to negative 1 plus 1 raised to negative 1 quantity negative 1. So dahil dito, ito yun po ay naka-parallel. So ang magiging resistance equivalent po natin is 1.4 ohms. Then to get the current by Ohm's law, 1 volt slow voltage source over 1.4 resistance goes to 5 over 7 amperes. So since ito ay naka-series, so ang IR1 natin dito ay 5 over 7 din. 5 over 7, 8 4 amperes. So IR2, IR3, and IR4 is equals to 5 over 7 A times 2 over 5 is equals to 2 over 7 volts. So in order for us to find the IR2, so gagamitin natin yung volt 2 ay 2 over 7 volts. So 2 over 7 divided by 1, which is yung 1 ohm, magiging 2 over 7 amperes. Sa volt 3 and 4 naman, 2 over 7 din, 2 over 7 volts. Apply natin siya dito, IR3 and IR4 is equals to 1 over 7 A. Yan. Ganun din yung magiging sagot niya. IR3 is equals to 1 over 7 amperes, and IR4 is equals to 1 over 7 amperes. Ngayon, dako tayo sa volt number 6 or volt 6, V6, 2 over 7 volts. Ganun din, same din sila. Magiging IR6 equals to 2 over 7 amperes. So ngayon, sa part 2, ililet natin ang V2 or ang 2 volts natin, i-replace natin as open circuit. Then yung the rest ulit ay makawala. So IR1 papunta pa up, tapos i-seal dito yung ganun. Ayun yung magiging mukha ng ating circuit kapag ginawa natin, i-replace natin ang 2 volts as an open circuit. Then go to our solution. And 2 volt reacted alone, and mesh 1 is equal to negative I 1, tapos 1 plus 1 minus 2 plus I 2 is equal to 0. So ang mesh 1 natin, ang equation ng mesh 1 natin ay negative 2I 1 plus I sub 2 is equal to 2. So kailangan natin itong mga equation na to in order for us to get the current na nagre-react kapag ang 2 volts ay alone. So in a mesh 2, negative I2, quantity 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus I sub 1 plus 2 I sub 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. Then when you simplify it, I sub 1 minus 3I sub 2 plus 2I sub 3 is equal to negative 2. For our mesh 3, negative I3, quantity 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2I sub 2 equals to 0. Then the equation is 2I sub 2 minus 3I sub 3 is equals to 0. Then when we apply it, or when we put it, those equation in our calculator using mode 5.2, makukuha natin dyan ay ang ating I sub 1 is equals to negative 4 over 7, I sub 2 is equals to negative 6 over 7, and ang ating I sub 3 is equals to 4 over 7. Then, since equal ang I sub 1 at ang ating IR1, so magiging negative 4 over 7 amperes lang yan. Then, to get the IR sub 2, gagawin natin ang I sub 2 minus natin sa I sub 1. Magiging 6 over 7 minus the quantity of negative 4 over 7 is equal to 10 over 7 amperes. Ngayon, ang I sub 3 naman. Kaya ang I sub 3 natin is equals to lang sa ating IR sub 4. So, paano makukuha yun? equals to I sub 2 minus I sub 3. Yan dito. Mangyayari, 6 over 7 minus 4 over 7 is equals to 2 over 7 amperes. Yan yung ating equal lang ang ating IR sub 3 and IR sub 4. Dako naman tayo sa IR sub 6. Ang IR sub 6 natin naman ay 4 over 7A. So, yan lang. Hi, so for our third solution, nandito yung nag-a-act alone ang ating current source, which is ito, 1 ampere. Then the rest of the sources are replaced or disregarded na. Then ito yung magiging mukha ng ating circuit. Kapag kunin natin or re-replace natin or ano lang natin ang current source natin ng circuit, 1 amperes. So here goes for the solution. So IR5 is equal to 1A. So we're using here a super mesh. So ang super mesh, it occurs when current source is contained between two essential meshes. This will be an equation where the current source is equal to one of the mesh currents minus the other. So yan, yun yung ginamit natin dito para makuha ang mga mesh na ito. So in the mesh 1, ang equation natin dito ay negative 2I sub 1 plus I sub 2 is equal to 0. Mesh 2, I sub 1 minus RI sub 2 plus 2I sub 3 is equal to 0. And our mesh 3, yan, medyo mahaba-haba ang ating dito. Negative 2I3 minus I sub 4 plus 2I sub 2 is equal to 0. Then, when we simplify that, makukuha natin ang equation ng mesh 3 equals to 2I sub 2 minus 3I sub 3 is equals to negative 1. Then, i-insert natin siya sa computer, sa calculator using mode 5 2. Then, we will get our I sub 1, the value of 2 over 7 amperes, I sub 2 of 4 over 7 amperes, and IR sub 3 is equals to 5 over 7 amperes. So in order for us to get the IR1 prime, third prime, ang sagot niyan ay 2 over 7A amperes. Equals lang din siya dun sa I sub 1 natin, which is nakuha natin kanina kapag combine na tatlong equations. So IR sub 2 third prime, I sub 2 minus I sub 1, which is ito, equals to 4 over 7 minus 2 over 7 is equals to 2 over 7 amperes. Then IR sub 3 third prime ay equals lang siya sa IR sub 4 third prime. So mangyari I sub 3 minus I sub 2 is equals to 5 over 7 minus 4 over 7 is equals to 1 over 7 amperes. Then sa IR sub 6 natin is equals to the negative value of ang ating nakuha kanina na I sub 1 pala to. Sorry. I sub 1. Ayan. Negative I sub 4 pala. Which is ito. Yung I sub 4 natin kasi dito, ito, I sub 3 minus 1. Then, insert natin ang equation na ito. Ito dito, the negative value of this, makukuha natin is 2 over 7 amperes. So, for the last of our superposition theorem ways to get the last voltage source, and disregard also, katulad ng nakaraang steps, ganun din ang gagawin natin. So, go for the solution. The solution dito, ang mesh 1 natin is negative 2I plus I sub 2 is equals to 0. Ang mesh 2 natin dito, I sub 1 minus r I sub 2, r minus 3 I sub 2 and plus 2 I sub 3 is equals to 0. Next 3, 2 I sub 2 and minus 3 I sub 3. Tapos ito. It's equals to 1. 1 dito, plus 1 kasi ito dapat. So, itong mode natin. So, transpose natin ito equals to 1. Ayan. Using mode 5-2, makukuha natin, pakumbay natin itong tatlong equation na ito, makukuha natin, ang I sub 1 natin is equals to negative 2 over 7, I sub 2 is equals to negative 4 over 7, and I sub 3 is equals to negative 5 over 7. Now, we go to the fourth prime of the IRs natin dito. So, IR1 into fourth prime is equals to negative I1 is equals to 2 over 7A. Which is ito. Negative value of I sub 1 natin na nakuha from combining the three equations. So, move on. IR sub 2 for the fourth prime. I sub 1 minus I sub 2 is equals to negative 2 over 7 minus the quantity of negative 4 over 7 to get the answer of 2 over 7 amperes. IR sub 3 fourth prime is equals to IR sub 4 fourth prime. So, parehas lang sila ng value. So, to get that, I sub 2 minus I sub 3. So, the value of these two, ay minus natin sila. Negative 4 over 7 minus the quantity of negative 5 over 7 is equals to 1 over 7 amperes. Then, IR sub 6 equals to negative I sub 3. So, the negative value of this. So, multiply natin ito into negative. Mangyayari, ang answer natin dito ay positive 5 over 7 amperes. For the last of the discussion for our solution, since nakuha na natin lahat ng values ng IR1 from first prime to the fourth prime, so gagawin natin dito, total natin silang lahat para makuha natin yung current value ng mga IR1, IR2, IR3 hanggang IR6, and ma-apply natin ito for the whole circuit. Hindi lang siya sa by meshes lang or by reacting alone, but it was the value for the whole circuit. So for the first one, sorry, nawala. So ayan, IR sub 1 natin is equals to negative IR1 prime minus IR1 double prime minus IR1 third prime plus IR1 fourth prime. So, equals to negative 5 over 7. Ito yung mga nakuha nating values kanina. Plus 4 over 7 minus 2 over 7 plus 2 over 7. Makakancel na to. Then, dumat, negative 1 over 7A ang IR1 natin for the whole circuit. The current of the resistor 2 is equivalent to 1 IR2 prime minus IR2 double prime minus IR2 for the third time plus IR4 for the fourth prime rather. Ito, insert natin ang value 2 over 7 minus 10 over 7 minus 2 over 7 plus 2 over 7, makakancel ito. Then, ang masagot natin dito ay negative 8 over 7 amperes. Okay, so pwede natin yung value nyan. Value nyan ay 0.143. Then, sa IR2 natin, negative 8 over 7. Negative 1.143. Then, sa I sub 3, ang I sub 3 natin ay equals lang sa IR sub 4. So, in order to get that, IR3 prime plus IR3 double prime minus IR3 third prime plus IR3 for the fourth times goes to 1 over 7 plus 2 over 7 minus 1 over 7 plus 1 over 7. Maka-cancel to. So, ang value ni IR3 at ni IR4 is equals to 3 over 7 amperes or 0.429 or 0.49. Ayan. Then, IR5 ay equals lang siya sa IR5 third prime. Yung kanina, yung sa ginamitan natin siya ng super mesh, which is ang value na ay 1 amperes. Then, for the last, IR6 equals to IR6 prime plus IR6 double prime minus IR6 third prime and IR6 for the fourth time. Exchange the value 2 over 7 plus 4 over 7 minus 2 over 7 minus 5 over 7. Ang kakalabasan ay negative 1 over 7 or negative 1 for 3. So that's all for the solution of our circuit. Thank you.
The summary of our experiment: if a circuit is made of linear elements, we can use superposition. To simplify the analysis, this is especially useful for circuit with multiple input sources. To analyze a linear circuit with a multiple input, you surplus all but one input or source and analyze the results in pair circuit. Looking for all inputs and source, then add the result to find the total response of the full circuit.
As a group, we need to create an electrical network so that we will come up with proper given elements and their execution on the circuit shown. Several network theorems are out there that may help us to get the analysis of our electrical network that we made, so that we use a simulator app for us to execute the following elements that given to us as an instructions. Our group was assigned to use superposition theorem.